Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and my voice is almost back. This is National Geographic's um, Expedition Mars, Spirit and Opportunity. This is a documentary. It's about hour and 20 minutes long. It's from 2019, and it has the drama. It contains the drama of what it takes to launch, land, and control robots remotely on a planet far, far away. We take a lot of this stuff for granted when it comes to our science fiction. Droids all handle themselves. R2D2 can do just about anything. He's got it all figured out. He can handle any terrain. He can fly. Um, they can do all sorts of things. So it's it's another thing altogether in the early 21st century when we're dealing with us primitive humans on Earth throwing a robot into space and making sure that it arrives on another planet in one piece. It sounds incredibly reductive to say it like that, but that's essentially how terrifying it is to perform such an act. It sometimes, I think, feels like they're just winging it. And after many years of failure, they Spirit and Opportunity certainly weren't the first, and they certainly are not going to be the last rovers sent off to Mars to explore this world, to look for water, to look for life. Um, and you have to understand, we're literally working in the horse and buggy era of this type of exploration. It's we've barely gotten they've barely built a Model T Ford at this point, um, and we're looking at the hand crank uh, level of the automobile metaphor. Man, I'm dragging that one out. Uh, we're, we're really in the early stages of how to handle this, and like I said, they failed a number of times. NASA, and then JPL got involved, and out of Pasadena here, um, and they were working with specs and materials and understandings uh, that they were used to, and the game kept being changed. Uh, just having a parachute that would work to land these rovers, these complex machines, uh, wasn't working even on Earth. They were literally testing it with the same exact materials, parachutes that they expected to use when they shot these things to Mars. It wasn't going to work. They came up with a new way. Literally became a bouncy ball uh, when it landed on another planet. Um, these two ships were launched. By the way, these explorers were launched within a few weeks of each other. Um, Meant to explore different areas of the same planet. It's sort of hedging their bets in a sense, um, where the window to launch to for the shortest possible trip only comes around once every 26 months. And so if you screw up a launch, or if you screw up a date, um, anything goes wrong, you got another 2 years at least to to get it right again, and it's frustrating. And you have to understand that the people that are working on this have an incredible amount of patience to deal with working from the control room where they literally have no control. They've programmed these robots to do exactly what they're supposed to do upon landing, months in advance, years in advance, and when it finally lands, they have to hope that everything they envisioned, everything they programmed, is going to work out as it expects. Um, it's a terrifying thing, I think, for these people who care so greatly for the work they've done. To those out there who are of the mind that we live on a flat Earth, honestly, nobody takes you seriously in the first place. But seriously, shut up. There's no way the amount of people that are working on this, coming to work every day, and bring their hands and program things 400 steps in advance, 400 programming inputs to make a machine on another planet move this far, or at least they're not coming into work and doing all these things to pretend in order to fool you into believing the world is round and the planets are fake. These, you're an idiot. I can say that with the most love I can possibly give somebody who is that stupid. So that's a digression. Sorry, but when it comes to things like this, an incredible amount of work goes into it. It's an incredible endeavor that spans years. And the amazing thing about this, in watching this, is realizing these people put years of work into something they expected only to last barely a few months, if at all. And in the end, these things lasted years. These robots, who they expected to not last as long as they did, were pushed to the limit and beyond, through treacherous terrain, windstorms, dust covering the solar panels, and then suddenly the windstorm would come along and clear off those panels and give them all the energy they need to go even further. One guy described it as literally just taking your average car and then driving for 1,000,000 miles. And no car does that. Even the best vehicle we've seen here on Earth, we can't, without any kind of maintenance, without any kind of checkups, oil changes. It's like running a car for 1,000,000 miles without an oil change. That's what it was. And in a sense, for these two explorers, there's a little bit of a competition. Two different teams working on things. Spirit was having a hard time right out of the gate. Excuse me. Having a hard time right out of the gate, struggling to find anything worth exploring, because they assumed that when they landed it that it was going to have a plethora of things to dig around in, and it was not so good. And Opportunity had a number of opportunities to discover a lot more, but both fought like hell to get everything they could before they shut down. And this is their story. This is the story of people who literally make commands and have to wait to the next day, in many cases, to see what they did, if it bore any fruit, if anything good came out of it. It had to be incredibly stressful. It's amazing to see them joyous and excited and thrilled that all their work just was all their work bore fruit. And I hate using that metaphor again, but yeah, it just everything worked out in ways they never expected after so many years of just hitting a wall. And this is their story. This is their adventure. And yes, this is a documentary, and if you're not really interested in the space program, this is not for you. But they make it interesting. They make it exciting, and you get to see a lot of the people who were involved in this from the start. I don't know why they bother. Some of this stuff goes back to the '90s. I don't know why some of the footage is in black and white. It's not like it's old timey. We're not in the 1950s WandaVision here. Okay, it's not. It's not Ricky and Lucy here. It's 1997 at some point. We've been going to Mars for a long time, and we're going to go to Mars for many years to come because of the accomplishments done by the work of the people behind Spirit and Opportunity. It's some of this stuff should not have worked out the way it did, and it exceeded all expectations. And it's kind of amazing to see science and the troubleshooting and the hard work that went into it. So, honestly, if you're at all interested in space exploration, this is a must see. This is something you want to really check out. I expected it to be a lot really boring, but you cheer along with these people when things go right, and you feel it when it doesn't work out. But it's a story of triumph, and it's just the beginning. So I highly recommend this, especially if you're into the whole Mars and everything else exploration that JPL and NASA and everybody else is doing. So check it out. It's worth your time. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. Okay, geez. You're silent. 267. Right? 267. Huh. All right. Excuse me. No edits. Still getting over the COVID. Anyway, we are going to watch a cartoon series, just a few episodes, and it's in the Marvel realm. I have to admit, I don't know if I really ever watched this. I was a grown up, and I didn't watch Saturday morning cartoons. But some of you might appreciate this, and some of us, this will be kind of fun. We're going to watch Iron Man, the animated series from 1994. We just missed having the first or the second Iron Man. But here we go, 267 is the Iron Man animated series from 1994 on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow.